Hey, so this is Frank with Illinois Rocks. We're going to do a long-term tumble, beginning to end. One of my more favorite stones, which is Sodalite. Blue is my favorite color, so it's one that I like. It's a little bit softer. It's about a 5.5 to a 6. It's a lot similar to Lapis Lazuli, except you won't see the pyrite flux in it. Sometimes it's actually kind of a little bit of UV reflective too. So let's go get started. I've got a whole lot of it. So I have all this plus like another half container full like this. So I think it was, I don't know, 4 or 5 pounds that I got. It was like kind of a buy one get one free deal. But this is, blue's my favorite color. So let's see how this comes out. I've done it before, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna start with a 2.5 pound drum. This is one of like the cool stone ones. It's just a single one. I use them a lot for stage 1 because they go quite a bit longer, or I'm sorry, faster than the other tumblers that I have, like some of like the Harbor Freights and some of the others. So we're gonna get this about 2/3 to 3/4 full. That looks pretty good to me. There we go. And let me get some water and some grit, and we'll get this started. We've got our water here, so this is just plain unfiltered, whatever, basement sink water. We're gonna try and go a little bit below the top of the rocks. That looks pretty good to me. Some 60-90 grit. This is a 2.5 pounder, so you can use 2.5, 3 tablespoons. So just kind of eyeball it. Doesn't need to be exact. Right, now we're gonna set this up here. I'm only going to let it run a week, but I just kind of do speed 2 on these, which is kind of about 50, 60 RPM. And I have to give the company kind of props for, I had one of these die recently and found my receipt on Amazon, and I did reach out to them. They sent me a new base, so, you know, good for them. All right, we'll check back on this in a week. All right, a week's passed on the Sodalite, so let's open it up, see what we get tumbling did. Not super, I don't know. I think it's going to take some more, but we'll check it out. Let me clean it up. I was definitely wrong about that. So these at the bottom here still have a little bit more work. You kind of see that crack up there. Not a crack, a scratch. Here I'd like to kind of smooth out this kind of pit a little bit more. Same as here, just get a little more rounding. But all these at the top here, these are looking good. So we got some different colors. It's going to be interesting to see how they turn out. But we have a whole lot more of this stuff, so we'll put all this aside. Just usually I keep it like in like a little Gladware thing of water, just so if there's any grit stuck in there, it doesn't get, you know, kind of really embedded. We'll take all this, we'll add some more fresh rough since we have it. Let's set it back up for another week. Alright, my daughter has very much taken over my kind of hobby area with all of her stuff here lately, so. But you can see we still have a lot of this to go. So I'm just going to go again, get about 2/3 full. Looks pretty good to me. Maybe we could add a couple of these little ones. And I'm just going to keep running through all this until, you know, we get enough for stage 2. I'm not going to bore you with all that. And then we'll kind of go from there. So stay tuned. Hi, welcome back. We've been working on the Sodalite, and Sodalite's pretty soft. But dang, in about 3, maybe 4 weeks, look, holy smokes. So this has all been through stage 1. It all looks pretty good. So now we're going to get it ready for stage 2. Since this is so soft, we're going to use some media in here to make sure that, you know, it's got some cushioning around it. I mean, this is more than a barrel's worth, obviously. And all of this media that I have here has been run before, so it shouldn't be very sharp or anything. Let's get some good handfuls here. Sorry about the camera work. It's just me today. So I don't even think that's quite half, but you know, maybe we'll take a little bit out. Now, it should be. Maybe for a couple small ones still in here. Usually you want to go like about 2/3, 3/4 full. And add a little bit more media in here. A little bit more media. Maybe we need a couple more small pieces in. Just so that I can hopefully get the rest in another barrel. Okay, so we're gonna add our water. Again, apologies for the atrocious camera work here. And then we're gonna go to our stage 2, which I think is 220. We're gonna add 3 scoops. When it starts getting pretty fine and kind of messy, you really wouldn't want to get any of this near you. And a lot of times I would do this like for 10 days. But since this stuff is so soft, I'm just gonna do this for 7 days. So we'll check back on this in a week and see what progress we've made. All right, our Sodalite's been in stage 2 for a week, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. Let's take a look and see how it's doing before we start our first pre-polish on it. All right, so here's the Sodalite after stage 2 for 1 week. I didn't want to leave it in too long because it's such a soft stone. So we're gonna get this set up for the first pre-polish, which is a 500 grit. And I've never tried it before on Sodalite, but I also have 1,000. So I'm gonna do a week at 500 and a week at 1,000. So let's set this up for the 500 first and get that going. Once you get to the 500 grit is where it starts getting kind of, I don't want to say nasty, but really fine. So just be careful. If you're doing this outside, you know, no wind. Inside, it's probably even better to wear something. But we're gonna do 3 scoops, and then I'll let it run for a week. We'll check on it, and then I think we're gonna try 1,000 just to see how it turns out, since this is soft. I've done Sodalite before, but never tried that extra stage. So, let's see what happens. We'll follow up. Welcome to my basement laboratory workshop / hot mess. The Sodalite's been through stage 2, 7 days, so I'm gonna get it cleaned up. Let's take a look, see what it's looking like. This is what we've got after stage 2. It's just 7 days. It's looking really nice. The quality of the pieces, some's got a lot more blue than others. You know, it's got some kind of other impurities or, well, whatever is mixed in with these. But we have some really nice ones. They're all feeling really smooth. Very pleased with the progress so far. Not going to go over it, but I'm going to give these a bath, a cleaning cycle throughout the day today. Got a busy day on my afternoon. It's a Saturday. And when that's all done, we'll come back and we'll get it set up for the first of, I'm going to do 2 pre-polishes on this. So stay tuned. Correction there. That is actually stage 3 that just finished. So we're going to clean it up, and I already put it together, so too late to delete. But we'll clean it up, and then I'm going to try, I've never done it with Sodalite, but a week in 1,000 grit before we move to the 8,000, just to see what happens, because why not? All right, as promised, we're going to do an extra stage of pre-polish, which is this 1,000 grit I got from Kingsley. I don't use it very often, just on softer type materials, like sometimes like quartzites, or like sometimes they'll be called aventurine. Never tried it on a Sodalite, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm going to toss it in for a week, and we'll check back. All right, we're back after a week in 1,000 grit with the Sodalite. It has lost a lot of mass, I'm gonna be honest. It looks really good, but I think we're just going to do 10 days now, and our final micro alumina here from Kingsley. It's kind of the equivalent to 8,000 from Rockshed. Usually I would do 14 days, but well, I hope to have something left besides gravel. So let's see what happens. All right, hello and welcome to the conclusion of our Tumbling Sodalite. So I ran it for about 10 days in the 8,000 grit and gave it 2 quick rinses in borax, and then some ivory soap for about half an hour. And let's take a look what we got. It's all dried off, so let's see. So we got quite a few different specimens here, but I think adding the 1,000 really gave it a nice shine. Because you have to remember, Sodalite's pretty soft. So most of these came out, you know, really nice. We did have some, you know, different coloration and everything in here. You know, like this one's got like a little bit of pink in it. Got some cool shapes. We did lose a lot of mass. This one kind of came apart a little bit. I don't know what happened. Just the matrix that it was in didn't turn out that good, but for the most part, really good batch. You know, just kind of lessons learned here. I would say adding the 1,000 helped versus previous Sodalite that I've done. But probably just shorter batch times, nothing really much longer than a week because you lose so much so quickly. You know, make sure if you're using like a Nat Geo tumbler or something like that that spins real fast, either try and slow it down with a lower, you know, wattage, lower voltage power supply. If you're using a regular tumbler, you know, you should be fine. And just don't overdo it. So, oh, and I also checked all these with a UV light. None of these seem to be very UV reactive. But anyway, thanks for following on. It's been a fun journey, and stick around for future videos. Thanks again.